And then when I moved to New York my freshman year, that changed everything. That changed my life. I got introduced to a new level of fashion. Like at that time, Kanye was really doing his thing as a producer, and it just opened me up to so many different things.
Who'd you move with?
I wouldn't say a wild kid compared to like how I grew up. So I grew up in the projects. I'm from the hood, from the streets. So like I would see things and have access to things and be exposed to things, but I wasn't like really in the streets. Like I wasn't out here selling nickel and diamond to people. You know what I mean? And what I just want to tell everyone, my advice from my life experience and like words of encouragement, just go do it. Go do it. Don't think about the technical stuff. Don't worry about any of that. I broke my head over it, still do break my head over it every day to go on social media or YouTube and see someone grinding and getting it off their cell phone.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of C-Rod's Tell Me a Story podcast. I'm your host, C-Rod. Let me tell you a story. Today's guest grew up in Pennsylvania with his mother and his grandmother. With family in New York City, he will find himself bouncing back and forth in between the two. With spending the school years in Pennsylvania and the summers in New York, he got a good taste of the country and a good taste of the city, leaving him well-versed with experience. With a short period of wilding out, he would mature and grow up, finding himself engulfed in the hip-hop culture. He would make beats and freestyle for fun, not knowing that he was building the skills to become an established content creator. He would elevate these skills, now being able to craft high-quality reels for people to enjoy. He has become a force in the content creator world and is now on the verge of doing big things. I was happy to sit down with him today and talk about different topics, including his life. So now, without further ado, please enjoy today's episode with Circular TV. Back at you, another episode of C-Rod's Tell Me a Story podcast. I'm your host, C-Rod, and I'm with you with my guest today, Miguel from Circular TV.
What up?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, we were sitting here chatting it up, getting ready. You know how we do it on the C-Rod's Tell Me Your Story podcast. I sit down with interesting people. I talk to content creators, influencers, rappers, actors, comedians, anybody who has impact and wants to share their story and that could maybe influence somebody coming up. That's who I talk to. So that's why Miguel's here. He's going to share his story. And you know how we do it. We just get right into it.
No, thanks for having me, bro, and thanks for doing what you're doing. It's beautiful, man. I think what you're doing is beautiful. Denver, I feel like is an upcoming city, slowly growing, and there's not enough people out here who are highlighting what's going on, or just that.
There's a lot going on here, though, isn't there?
Hell yeah.
Especially music.
I don't pay attention to the music scene out here.
Oh my God, there's so many.
But there is, though.
People.
I know that there is.
Yeah, there definitely
Yeah, I hear about it all the time. Maybe I'm jaded because I make beats.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I came up in New York. So me always making beats, I always used to try to like get my beats on to people, but no one really, I wouldn't say they didn't mess with my beats, but like as an artist, which I understand in rappers, you hear your voice over a certain sound. So maybe my beat might be fire, but maybe you just don't see yourself over my beat.
Yeah.
And it took me years to learn that. And then I just learned like, you know what, I'm making my beats for my videos and for what I do.
Yeah.
And then so now I don't really input myself into scenes because it's like, I don't really want people asking me for beats.
Plus, East Coast got their own type. Y'all got your own music.
Yeah, that's another thing I learned too. Like I like a boom bap sound, like old school 90s hip hop sound.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people doing music these days, they're really focused on like trap, the younger sound, 808s, those fast run hi-hats.
I don't mess with that trap. I don't mess with them trap beats.
Me either. I like them, I appreciate them, but I just feel like I'm a grown man now, and like I'm not out here doing all that. Like I like that conscious rap type shit.
How old are you?
34.
34 years young.
34 years young. Thank God made it this far, man.
In your prime.
Huh?
That's your prime. Believe it or not.
I don't think I'm in my prime yet.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not there yet. And I used to tell people too, like, yo, I feel like in my 30s I'll be in my prime. I'm slowly on my way there. Yeah. I feel like when secular hits wherever God has it going, then maybe that's my prime.
Yeah. So I used to cage fight.
Word?
I don't know, you might have seen them.
No, but I'm learning that you used to fight because I saw you interviewing the one dude fighting, and then you was telling me about your mans.
Yeah, so I didn't take my first fight till I was like 34.
Word? Fire.
Yeah. And that's when I learned. So when you're in your 20s, you might feel more healthy and more physical fit. But there's a time when you're maybe from 32 to 36, maybe 31, where you're smart and you have the experience in life, but you still have that physical fitness that you carry from your 20s.
Facts.
That's your prime. You know what I mean? So when I started, I was like right in my prime. So I was just like, I was like, because at first I was worried, like I'm so old, but I was in my prime, you know, so.
Damn, you got me thinking maybe I am in my prime, and I just don't, because when you start bringing, like mentally, I don't feel like I'm in my prime, but maybe physically I might have passed my prime.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you something, even though I'm pretty old, I'm almost 50. But
you're not old, bro, and you look mad. Yeah, I really thought you was young, bro. I thought you might have been my age or actually a little bit younger.
Yeah, appreciate it. But it's like my mind doesn't feel like my body. You know, like sometimes my mind, I have to tell my mind, like, chill out, because my body can't keep up with my mind. Because I'm like going like, you know, let me go do this, let me go do that, let me go do this. And my body's like, when I got over 40, it was like, chill, chip down for a second.
That happened to me last week. I'm working, you know, I got 2 jobs plus the creative stuff. So I've probably been doing like 75, 40 at one job, 32 at another job plus the creative stuff. And I've been working late, getting no sleep, trying to create. And then last Tuesday, I had like top 5 worst migraine I had in my life. And then that's what made me realize, like, nah, I'm getting older. I can't move like this no more. I got to probably take care of myself a little better, slow down, drink more water, eat, rest.
Yeah, don't eat all that junk food and none of that. On a side note, if you know how them Sonys overheat, if one of them goes off, that's why we got 3. I'll just
you saw they got fans for those.
I gotta get me something.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're like $20.
Oh, I gotta get me something because you know they'll go off after like an hour or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's so. We have so much in common, and I literally just met him, but that happened to me. So first time I had one of these cameras, I got the Sony, the ZVE one. That was one of the known issues, overheating. So then, boom, I did a trial. I recorded a DJ set. It was my overhead cam, and it went for 2 hours. 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. I was like, nah, they said this camera ain't gonna last that long, but it did. Then I go to shoot a podcast using it as my camera. 20 minutes. I was like, yo, how did it last 2 hours? And then now 20 minutes. And then I looked into the fan, got the fan, and it runs. I think I streamed for like 2.5 hours one day on it.
I gotta get the fans. Yeah, that's why I got 3. If one goes off, I just clip to another one. You know,
smart. Yeah.
So I ain't gotta worry.
That's what happened on my man's episode when it shut off with the podcast. I like let it sit, but then I just change the angle of the camera to the main one, and then that's what I just focused on until the camera came back up.
Exactly what I do. So if you see me look away, you know how it is.
No, you good, yeah.
So I was gonna tell you, my family is from Harlem.
Oh, fire!
Yeah.
You know where in Harlem? East side, west side?
I don't know. I could tell you that my dad went to Harlem Academy. So
I don't know. That's not gonna mean much to me.
Oh, you don't know?
But I like
big city.
I got a lot of my closest friends are from Harlem, but I'm from Brooklyn. But so I know a lot about Harlem. I heavily influenced by Harlem culture growing up, like Dipset, you know, like Cameron.
It's pretty far from you. How far is it? Like a
not too bad for me. We're from Williamsburg, which is now Hipster Central in New York. But take the L train, 14th Street. Depending on what side of Harlem you're trying to go, you probably either take the 4, 5, or 6 uptown, or you take the 1, 2, or 3 train uptown. The 4, 5, or 6, if I'm correct, that's gonna leave you on the east side. The 1, 2, or 3 leave you on the west side. So maybe like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Because if it's like express time, trains is moving quick.
It's like from here to like Thornton or something.
I don't know. It took me mad long to get here.
You from Thornton? You live in Thornton?
No, I live downtown Denver.
Oh, downtown.
Yeah.
It's because you came at the wrong time.
It's funny. I was on the phone with my aunt on my way here. I was like, Titi, because my barber kind of like a little bit down from here, and the week before Thanksgiving, my man's from New York came out here. I went to go get a haircut. Same time. Took me forever to get there. Yeah. And I realized when I'm on my way here today, I was like, it is Wednesday. And it's that fucking rush hour.
You left at like 5:30, 5:40.
Mm-hmm. 5:30. I left the crib at 5:30.
Yeah, you left right in the middle of rush hour.
Yeah.
When COVID, bro, I was making it downtown in like 22 minutes.
It was dead downtown during COVID.
I was like, damn, I'm downtown already. Shit, it's dope.
I'm mad. I wish I painted during COVID. You know, like graffiti?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was probably such a prime time,
right? Nobody
to get
out.
Your name up everywhere. Oh, I'd be so mad I didn't do that shit.
Nah, I think you might be right about that. That was a good time. There was a lot of hustles that came up.
Perfect time.
I missed out on a lot of. I can't say I missed out because I was doing delivery. I did an Amazon business during COVID.
I missed out on those loans, the PPE loans.
Yeah,
I knew so many people getting them shits off.
Yeah.
Now I look back like, damn, I should have been asking a little more questions around that time. Yeah. But some people are getting caught up on that now. So
yeah, you got to ask questions. But like, but even over there in New York, y'all don't really drive, right?
Nah. Funny thing, when I moved over here, I didn't have a car. I was like, oh, they got trains and buses. Yeah. I did it for 2 years. I was like, it's not the same.
It's not the same, right?
Nah. And then I had to take the 15L. You know that bus?
Yeah.
That shit runs straight across Colfax out to the hospital. I was like, yeah, I got to get a car.
Yeah, Colfax is a
that 15L is rough. I mean, I'm from New York, and I even thought like, nah, I haven't even seen some shit like this in New York. That 15L is rough.
So like, I'm from like, I grew up in Texas.
Okay, Kentucky. So you're not from here?
I've been here for like 10 years.
I mean, 10 years you hitting.
Been here for a
like
while.
From here, yeah. Type shit.
But like, I grew up in South Texas and Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, all like South,
mm-hmm.
all the South, and in the South. I was telling somebody here, he was from Turkey. And he was like, Denver is really nice, really very nice. America's so nice. And I was like, yeah, just when you go to other cities, be careful. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what you mean? Because he was going to go, I forget where. And I was like, when you go to other cities, they got bad sides.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, even this side, like you go in the wrong part of Aurora or the wrong part of Colfax, you might find yourself in some shit.
It's true, but it's not like going to like East Nashville or
I've never been to Nashville
or like be in Memphis or like when you turn you're like, oh shit, I gotta U-turn, get in the hell up
That's
out
facts.
of here.
Yeah. Here's not that crazy, but here I'm not gonna be a little. It get a little gully out here, bro.
It does.
It gets gully out, and when I moved out here, I was not under that impression.
Yeah. And
then it took me to be out here for 6 years to be like, all right, there's some areas and some places out here you might not want to get caught up in.
Yeah, it's like it used to be 5 Points.
Yep. Which is now Rhino.
The Rhino.
Yeah, so where I'm from in Williamsburg in New York, the north side, it's the same exact thing. So that's why I drew to it a lot. Where we're from in New York and Brooklyn, it used to be a bunch of warehouses. And then after 9/11, the Jewish people like acquired, I'm not trying to say that in a weird way, but like they acquired all these like warehouses and stuff and then converted it into like buildings and people to live in. And then it just became like this trendy area. Rhino, 5 Points, you've been down there, same thing. It used to be a bunch of rundown warehouses and now it's like
like the part.
It's the part to be in now.
They still got some rough parts down there though.
Yep, that's facts.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine on the podcast actually, and he was telling me he has a friend that's a lawyer, and his friend invited him to go eat dinner or something like that. And so he looked at the address. He like, 5 Points, he's from Montbello. Mm-hmm. So he's like, 5 Points. So he said he drove down there and he was like, yeah, it's 5 Points. And so he went inside and he told the guy, hey man, you live in 5 Points. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this is the Rhino. He was like, oh no, you might get robbed out here, the Rhino.
How you telling me I'm from here?
Yeah, I was like, this is
this is my hood.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in New York?
To be honest with you, I was born in Pennsylvania. A lot of people, every time I tell people I'm from New York, because like my family's from New York. My sisters were born in Brooklyn, but I was born in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And so I was born in Pennsylvania.
Where at in Pennsylvania? A
little bit north of Harrisburg. It's called a small town called Selinsgrove.
All right.
So I was born in Danville, but I was raised in Selinsgrove. But I was raised between New York and Pennsylvania because my grandmother lives in New York still to this day. My aunts, our whole family. And my grandma will watch us every summer. So every summer I was in New York. For the holidays, I was in New York. And then my freshman year of high school, I moved to New York halfway through. And I stood in New York for half my freshman year. But I got Cause like I had friends out there. It's not like I just moved to New York and I didn't know. I was plugged in already. So I had all my childhood friends and I was just wilding. And my family was like, nah, bro, you gotta go back home with your mother. So then I actually went to Massachusetts. My dad lives in Massachusetts. Went there, didn't work out, went to PA. Finished high school, long story short, finished high school. I graduated high school June 4th, birthday June 5th. My grandma's birthday is June 6th, but that day I was already moving to New York.
So your grandma raised you?
My grandma, my grandma, my mother. But my grandma, I call her mom. She definitely raised me. My grandmother, yeah.
Yeah. Were your parents not around too much?
My mom was. My mom raised me. My mom raised me, and I had a step pops.
Yeah.
But mainly, I just loved New York. Something about New York. I don't know what it was. So it's like when I had a taste of that at such a young age, and like in the summers I'm outside chilling, and then I have to go to boring PA for the school year, and it was like, yo, fuck this shit.
So
like
small
right?
town. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, small town. I mean, town where there's more cows than people.
Yeah.
So some real shit. So I went to New York freshman year. That changed my life my freshman year. Like New York definitely changed my life, being exposed to the music, like early hip hop shit. You know, like I was around New York. You probably remember this when the big ass ski goggles, the snowboard goggles was like a thing in hip hop fashion. Like that was
big
the
poofy
shit.
Jackets.
Yeah,
and shit.
that's still a thing. I like the poofy jackets. Yeah. But so just having that, and then when I moved to New York my freshman year, that changed everything. That changed my life. I got introduced to a new level of fashion. Like at that time, Kanye was really doing his thing as a producer, and it just opened me up to so many different things.
Who'd you move with over there?
In New York? My grandmother.
Okay, so you had two grandmothers, or
wait, who'd I what?
So I thought your grandmother was in Pennsylvania.
No, my mother. My mother still lives in Pennsylvania to this day.
I dig it now.
Yeah, my mother lives in PA.
Okay. I get it.
My sister lives in PA too now, because one thing I do understand with PA, like for my nephews, my one nephew loves football. Ain't much football opportunities in New York City. It's more basketball opportunities. So if you want your son to be involved in football and stuff like that, you got to go live somewhere where there's those type of opportunities. So that's why my sister, she loved that PA shit, if I'm correct, because it gives her kids opportunities. My other sister, she live in New York with her husband, 2 kids. My aunts live in New York. My grandma lives in New York.
Oh, I see. You just too bad over there? You was wilding out. They sent your ass back.
They sent me back to PA. Yeah, but then when my sister graduated high school in PA, she went to New York right away because she would go to New York a lot. When we was kids, my mom. So I have 2 sisters, 2 older sisters. I'm the baby. Me and the sister that's older than me, not those. We will always be in New York every summer. So like, it made sense that she went to New York right after high school, and then I did too. And then I was out there for 10 years straight, 18 to 28, and then I moved out here.
So were you like a wild kid?
I wouldn't say a wild kid compared to like how I grew up. So I grew up in the projects. I'm from the hood, from the streets. So like I would see things and have access to things and be exposed to things, but I wasn't like really in the streets. Like I wasn't out here selling nickel and diamond to people. You know what I mean? But I was around all that stuff. So you exposed to all this shit. You know what I mean? But I wasn't a bad kid. I wouldn't say I was a bad kid.
Yeah, so how would you describe if you went back?
Me as a kid?
You as a high schooler. Who were you in high school?
Me in high school, I was definitely into music and fashion. I was smoking weed, so I think my family would look at that as a bad thing, although I don't think it's a bad thing. Really just trying to I was still finding myself. I knew I wanted to make beats at that time. So I already had like a little drum machine. I'm trying to think, because like at that time, think about like, that's like what, high school's what, 2004. So we was probably still maybe had dial-up or DSL internet. So I'm just trying to think, because like people now, they don't really realize, but like at that time, being outside was such a big deal. Like
that was what it was to do.
That was what you did, yeah. So like for me, being outside, even to this day, is still an important thing to me because I grew up in that era. So like that, I would just be outside late, maybe come home high, and to my family, because I grew up, my family's super Christian and religious, to them, that they probably thought I was being a bad kid. But to me, I'm like, yo, I got...
Just chilling.
Yeah, I got over here, my man, he just robbed the store and you don't even know.
He's bad.
He's bad.
I'm good.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that.
So you just have one sister?
2, so funny shit, my mom has 3 kids. I'm the baby. I have a sister that's older than me. Minnie's what, 36? Cindy's 37. I'm 34. Then my dad had 10 kids.
Oh.
3 with my mom and 7 other kids.
Do you know them all?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have 10 half siblings.
7 half siblings.
Oh, because he has 3 with.
Because he has 3 with my mom.
Yeah.
So whatchamacallit? He has 8 girls, 2 boys.
Yeah.
I don't have any uncles. I was never raised by a man.
Oh, wow.
I had a step pops, but
yeah, what's he like?
there it goes.
Yeah.
I was literally just talking to my sister about this. My step-pops influenced my life. Crazy. Influenced a lot of things I was into. He was the one, like, when I was young, he had the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers album. He was into like all that, like Biggie. Yeah, the Biggie albums, the Lox albums. I mean, he just introduced me to hip hop. And
is he Puerto Rican?
Yeah, my step-pops is My step-pops actually is one of the Puerto Ricans that are like the black, like light skinned Puerto Ricans. They're not black, but they're not white. They're like light skinned Puerto Ricans. So they're like light skinned. But that's dope because a lot of people don't be knowing that. Like sometimes I think racism is funny because like sometimes there'll be white Puerto Ricans and there'll be black Puerto Ricans. And then they'll still have there'll be racism within race. You know what I mean? It's like color. Because Dominicans are like that. Like I grew up around mad Dominicans. Light-skinned Dominicans will judge dark-skinned Dominicans. And it's like, y'all both Dominican.
Yeah, black people like that too.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's like black people shit on light skins. It's like, oh, you lick your lips and squint your eyes. Like, y'all all the same shit.
So like, did your sisters pick on you when you were the baby, or were you spoiled? The baby's either picked on or spoiled.
Spoiled by grandma. Yeah. My grandma spoiled me. That's probably why I'm so close to her. But it's definitely spoiled by my grandma. Wouldn't say picked on. I feel like just for me, I was always an outsider in my family because, like I said, my family's really like church, go to school, go to college, get a job, do that. And me, I was always just like, I was in tune with my creative side since I was a kid. And I don't know, I feel like they never like supported that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just always like just trying to navigate. I was outside a lot.
Yeah.
That's what led me to being outside a lot.
That's how they used to punish us. You can't go outside. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids that, they'd be like, so what?
Nah, I used to get tight. I can't go outside.
What do you mean?
Your boys come up, like, cause in New York, it's the project. So like I'm on the third floor, like, yo, Mike. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
And then, my family's like, he can't come out. I'm like, oh,
when I was a kid, my dad used to smoke. I'd go in his room, I'd steal his weed. And I'd go on the block and I would hang with like all the old gangsters. Mm-hmm. Like every day. This is my routine. Get home, go in the room, steal a couple buds, go hang on the block with the gangsters. But like one day I don't show up. Like these are all like OGs. Like they're all like 20s, teens. Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers come to my house. Is Chris here? My dad was like, yeah, what the fuck y'all want? I was like, I don't know them, Dad. I don't know who they are.
Oh, they didn't want you hanging out with them.
Nah, he's like, can he come out? He said, no, he can't come out. Y'all need to get the hell up out of here. The gang members.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all need to get the hell up
Facts. Because, what parents want their kids hanging out with gang members?
Yeah. He was like, you know them? I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know why they came over here.
Chris.
I don't know. I think I know their brother. They're probably looking for their brother. That's what I told him.
That's funny.
Yeah. He said he thought he had mice.
This was in Texas, by the way?
Yeah.
I bet.
He used to put his bud underneath like the dresser. Mm-hmm. He thought he had mice.
Oh, because they would
say little holes in my bags and shit. I didn't know what was going on.
It's funny how he kept putting it there.
Yeah, he kept moving around and shit. No, he would move it and shit.
You would find it?
Yeah. He would always talk shit, like tell stories about it.
Aww.
He would be like, you still all my weed. He used to steal our weed too, though, at the end. He was on there was one time my brother and my mom all lived together, and he was on probation, so he didn't smoke weed. Mm-hmm. But my mom and my brother did. So they would buy weed, but he would come and steal their weed. So every time they would buy weed, he would take some out, put it in a bag. And then whenever they'd be out of weed, they'd be like, man, ain't no bud. He'd be like, I got you. He'd pull out like a big old bag. Here you go.
Oh, fire.
Yeah, where'd you get this from? You? I've been stealing that shit from you for the last month.
That's funny. Aw, that's what's up.
Yeah. So like when you what kind of like did you like ever like pursue music hardcore or? I
guess you could say I did. I've always made beats. I went to school for audio engineering. So I did that 2012, 2011, I think I started that. Anyways, so I did that. And in New York, one of my closest brothers to this day, his name is Quality. He still makes music. So we were going hard at one time, like this, which is how I got into cameras and all that stuff. Cause like my man's was going hard. He want a photo shoot. We don't know nobody who does photos. So you learn that shit yourself. He want to shoot a video. So in my 20s, early 20s, I would say I was going hard with the music.
Yeah.
Where like we was doing everything, making beats, trying to market it, promote it, trying to build my man's up as an artist, and had like we was his support because we had a crew. It was called WC Kids, Wild and Crazy Kids. You remember that show on Nickelodeon?
I don't think I do.
There used to be this thing called Nickelodeon, and we took the tag where they would say Wild and Crazy Kids, and I would always drop that on my beats. But that was our little crew, and it was like you had Rick, Matt, rest in peace, Rick, Matt, and Smurf DJs. Me and Q producers, Q rapped. We had our homegirl Mia was a photographer. Like we built a crew, which was dope, and we was just going hard, pushing it, throwing parties, everything you could think of. And then as people start getting older, that shit dies out. People got kids, responsibilities.
Life.
People die, man. Shit, it affects you differently.
Yeah.
So then I would say I stopped going hard on the music. Like I would make beats and make little videos, but I would say I stopped trying to push my music and like collab with people. And then out here, I don't really collab with anybody at all. There was a time when I was making beats out here, I would like send them to my friends in New York. But a couple of them got on placements.
I see you making some beats. There was like some real East Coast.
Oh hell yeah! That's all. What's funny is we talking about that. I spoke about this on a podcast recently. She was asking about my sound, and I was like, when you're young, you kind of discussed this earlier. You really don't know yourself when you're young. Yeah. So like, I would follow like what was popping at the time. So in the early 2000s, I loved gangster rap, and then after that came then the South music, like Lil Jon and all those people. Yeah, then I started getting really into that, and then the other trap music, like we were talking about, like when Metro Boomin and Mike Will and them started becoming big producers and producing like Future and all those South artists. I was kind of dabbling with that sound, but then I think it got to a point where it was like, all right, I'm older. What do I really like? What am I passionate about? And then like Jay Dilla, Madlib, Ninth Wonder.
Just kind of developed your own shit after.
Yeah, and but I've always loved those producers. Those are like those boom bap producers, Flying Lotus, where they got that sound, and I've always loved that sound.
Or do you actually rap?
I freestyle all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Like some people don't really like this shit they like, bro. If I'm being honest with you, it's just they heard it so much. They heard it so much, and the people creating this music, they're following certain formulas in music that we've been programmed for years to be drawn to, bro. So a lot of people, they don't really know what they like, if I'm being honest with you. They don't really know what they like, and they haven't taken the time out, I feel like, to just know what you like, to listen to mad music. Like, bro, I listen to so much music, and like I love hip hop, but I'll listen. There's this thing I use called Samplet, and you could get anything from YouTube, like music from Brazil, China, anywhere. So I'll listen to any type of music just to see how it resonates with me, and I'll sample it to make beats. So it's just like, a lot of people just don't know their sound, but when you take the time out.
I like Motown.
Yeah, like that soul shit, right?
Yeah, I like that soul shit. That's what I fuck with that shit.
Same here, I fire.
Yes.
But there's so much music, you know what I mean? Yeah. That a lot of people, they just like what's current. Yeah, or like what's on the radio, what's hot. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I just feel like music is so much deeper than that.
I feel like an old head whenever I say like I like the older music, like 90s rap music better than.
That doesn't make you an old head.
Yeah.
That just means you know quality music. Because 90s hip hop was, in my opinion, one of the best.
Well, I've said this many times on the pod. I think that the rappers nowadays are way more versatile. Mm-hmm. Like they could spit way more harder.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
But what they spit in ain't shit.
They ain't saying, they
ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I got a hot flow.
Yeah, hot flow, but you ain't
find some
shit.
words to fill that flow.
Yeah, that's like, I think they got better because I'm not gonna say that they're better back when I was growing up. I'm just thinking they had like more resonating meaning. Like you could hear some Pac. I always use Pac for example. You could hear some Pac and be like, oh shit, I feel that. Mm-hmm. Shit, I used to feel the same way. Facts. You know what I mean? But these guys are like, I got $1,000 and this is money and this and that. Like nobody was living like that. We don't feel that shit. You know what I mean?
But everybody resonates to it because the world we live in, bro. Social media is fake. Everybody lives a fake life.
Yeah.
So that's why they like all that shit.
That's true.
It's like, I don't really got $1,000, but that picture I put up on IG is only once a year. Yeah. And I'm fronting like it is. It's life.
Yeah. You was talking about earlier, like, remember I told you my first fight, 34? Mm-hmm. The reason I done that was life happened to me. I got caught up in life, bro. Mm-hmm. I had a job, take care of my kids, go to work, come home, go to sleep, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Got Saturday comes, maybe go to the grocery store with the kids, just before I know it, I was 34 years old. and I was in a ditch. And I was, because I used to be a pipe layer. So we used to dig ditches. I was digging in a ditch.
I was about to say like a life ditch, but you mean like a real ditch.
Like a ditch.
I was dead ass ditch.
Like a ditch. I was digging in this ditch and it was full of mud.
Okay.
I was doing water pipe. And I've told this story before too, but it was full of mud and just ugly. It was about pretty high. And I looked over and the guy working next to me was like 60, 62. And I was like, damn, fuck. Is that me? Is that me? I'm going to be 62 years old in this ditch still, you know? And he has a good job. Like, this is a good job for him, you know? Like, yeah. I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that shit. So then I was like, well, what could I do? I don't have much talent, you know what I mean? So then I was like, I know how to fight. So I just started fighting, bro. And then once I started fighting, I met my coach. And before I fought, I was always like, for example, I used to rap. Oh, I was good at rapping, but I just didn't know anybody. You know, I could have been a rapper, but
oh yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
I just didn't go to Houston. I'm from a small town. If I was from a big city, you know, I was one of those. Yeah. So I'd be with this motherfucker. He'd be like, for example, I'd be in the gym. I was a striker. Motherfucker come in and take me down. I'd be like, he only won because he wrestled. So what? Learn how to fucking wrestle. What's your problem? You know what I mean? Like he would tell me, you know, I'd come to the gym late. He'd be like, and you wonder why you're not getting better. You ain't here being late. You know, he would tell me shit like that. So that shit started resonating with me because when you're preparing for combat, like this guy's trying to fucking kick my ass. You know what I mean? Like, so like when you're preparing for combat, that shit started resonating with me. Word. So that's when then I started starting businesses, and that's basically how I got to where I am right now off the thoughts. You know what I mean?
They said I heard this today, a big shot is just a little shot who kept shooting.
That's a good one, actually. That's really dope.
Right? I heard that. I was like, yo, that's fire.
Yeah. So how many episodes do you have recorded on your podcast? Just
I think the Let's Meet show, funny, you were saying something. The first episode I shot of the Let's Meet show was with my homegirl. Have you ever heard of Vibes in the Park?
No. Tell me about it.
It's a big event they do out here, mainly in the summer. They're trying to do other things, but it's for the Black community. And it started during the pandemic. And it's just like during the pandemic, no one was doing anything. So these girls, they started like an event in City Park? City Park, right there where the water shit is. Anyways, and they just kept going, and it turned into like this huge event. Anyways, long story short, I went and did a video for one of them. The video did really well, and then I wanted to have one of the girls on the pod. She came, first episode, but she forgot to moisturize her lips. So when she saw the playback on it, she ain't like the video.
Yeah, my lips is
And
only women would notice that.
Yeah, so now it was a dude. I put up a video, collaborated with her on it. Some dude, he commented. He was like, yo, what's good with your lips? So she told me that. I was like, it's a dump for the video.
Don't worry about my lips.
Yeah.
My shit good.
That's right. Ever since that, bro, I always make sure I got moisture because of her. And any guest now, I'm like, yo, you want to go check your lips real quick? Because I don't got time to waste. But that was episode 1. Then I did 6 episodes after that because I think Kimberly was number 7. And then I stopped after that. Then I started doing my own little podcast because that's when I got to the point where I had people lined up. But I was like, it's my home. I don't really know how some of these people, I don't know how comfortable I was. So then I just started doing like a podcast where I was just talking about like my own self-growth. Yeah. And for that, I did a couple. And then I did a couple where I was making beats live. And then I stopped because, like I said, mad shit was going on over the summer with my grandma and my own personal health. And then now, for my new one, because I've been filming, preparing for the next year. Because my problem is I'm never consistent and I never organize. So I said next year I'm gonna be organized. So I already got 6 episodes in the tuck for when the new year rolls out.
Oh, so you got them recorded and ready to go?
Recorded, edited, and all ready to go. So just starting in January, you'll see now I'll be dropping mad shit. And then got that. I have an episode from when I went to New York in October where it was me and my boys and the Mets had one. I think it was when the Mets beat the Phillies, and then they advanced on into the World Series that game. And then we were there at the Mets Stadium, me and my friends, like we caught all the madness and shit. It's like that's a video I'm gonna drop because like I like doing vlog shit too. Yeah. So like I have that in the tuck. There's another video I have in the tuck. What's the other video? There's one more video I have in the tuck that I'm gonna start dropping, And then what I'm gonna do is in the new year now I'm gonna stream once a week and just keep filming. But that way now I have all like next month to get like March and April's content.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you ever get discouraged when you see so many people doing podcasts?
Yes, all the time. Yeah. But I don't. That's why I'm not gonna focus so much on the podcast though. Now that since we're talking about it, I want to just have maybe drop 2 podcast episodes a month with me sitting with someone talking. Yeah. Then the other ones I want to stream once a week. And then what's cool about streaming is when you like, even if you was to do this live like a stream, you don't got to edit afterwards.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's what I like about the streaming. It's like, yo, that shit's up.
How long does it take you to edit an episode?
Before I figured out with the AI shit. The AI shit changed everything, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I shot an episode this past Sunday and I went home because like I already pretty much know the color grade because like I've been filming in that same room for like a year now. So I pretty much know the color grade I want and everything for the coloring. So it don't take that much long. Bro, it's not long at all. I don't even know the time. But I saw once I lined everything up and did everything and then just the AutoPod just clipped it all up for me.
Yeah,
I mean, I still have to go through. I didn't do the go through and make sure it looks the way I want it. But bro, it was like in less than an hour that shit was done.
Yeah, so the AutoPod's tight.
Yeah, then there's 2 of them now. There's the AutoPod and the other brand is called, I don't know the name, but there's 2 of them now that work in DaVinci.
Yeah.
Look into them.
So like right now, for example, the reason I use the AutoPod for like that camera went off. Mm-hmm. So now I have 4 clips.
Now what you do is, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you do is the same clips that are on the card that cut off, what you do is make sure it still syncs. Like you're gonna have to line it up. Like before you even do the AutoPod thing, you're gonna have to make sure all the clips line up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so at least still make sure that second part of the clip lines up with the other clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then click that clip, click your next clip, right click, create a compound clip. So it'll fill in that space. So
it's like one clip.
Yeah, it'll fill in the space with just a black screen, but it's still one clip. So when you go do the snap thing, it's reading it all correctly.
So you had that problem before too.
That's the first time it happened with my man's. It happened, it shut off. And I was like, fuck, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, why don't I just make a compound clip where it'll fill in the empty space with a black screen and then it'll still all be in line. And then it chopped it all up.
And then what do you go through and do you color code it before you chop it up?
Yeah, make sure there's ways you could do it afterwards. I would do it first. Because, you know, once it chops it up, now you got mad individual clips. So any little tweak you made to one clip, now you got to make sure you apply that to all the same clips from that same camera angle. So I make sure that, you're right, I do that first. I make sure I color correct each clip first. I make sure everything looks good. So that way, once the AutoPod shit is done, I'm pretty much done. I already color corrected it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've been doing it the old school way because I didn't know that.
Bro, trust me, I was doing it the old school way until like October. So just 2 months I've been using this app.
This shit takes fucking forever.
Yeah, OD. That was another reason why I didn't like doing the podcast that much. Yeah. Or even, I did a DJ set. The DJ set I was telling you about, 2 hours. And on a DJ set, it's not 2 people talking, so you can't auto clip it because how is the software supposed to know where to switch what camera to who's talking? Bro, I had to... hard drive crashed, lost the footage.
Oh no!
In a way, I was almost sorry. I know you my man's, but I'm sorry to see this, yo.
Like,
thank God, bro. 2 hours of editing. That shit is mad work. Not even. It's more than 2 hours of editing. It's 2 hours worth of content you're editing. 3 camera angles.
So you went to college, right?
No, I'm not a sport of college. I don't support college.
Yeah. No. What do you think? It's just fake scam.
If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer. Things like that, I see it. I respect it. I think you have to go learn certain things.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if I go try to get an administrative job at the hospital and they say I need a bachelor's degree, why do I need a bachelor's degree?
To do administrative work. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I was a supervisor at the hospital for 2 years. Yeah. And every time I asked about getting a raise, they would say, well, if you consider going to school, we could probably increase your pay. I already do the work.
Like, why do I need this?
Why do I need a degree? That's the one thing I don't get. And it's not just me. I know mad people who don't go to school. It's like one of their complaints. And I just think it's dumb. It's like, why do I need a degree? If I get having a high school diploma, even a GED is fine enough. Bottom line, I've showed I'm proficient enough at the foundational things in life. You know what I mean? Like reading, writing, processing things. College is like, it's a scam.
Yeah. I think if you're same as you, if you're going to be maybe study law or a doctor or some kind
or
of
like you want to be an aero engineer. Yeah, like you have to go to school.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't think there's a lot of. I was looking at the career thing the other day online. There's some stupid fucking. What are some of the ones that I saw? Race professional or like what the fuck? What is that? But there's some really weird trades that they put on there that kids are taking that you know they're not going to be able to use in life.
That's facts. There's tons.
So I'm like, what the hell, dude? Fairy tale expert.
Wait, they have trades like that now?
Yeah, there was trades like that, like really dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
But you know, we say that now, but I feel like the world is so weird in the way it's going. Where like there might be that person gets nice at that, creates a YouTube channel on the fairy tale shit. You like the furries? You know what that is? The furry shit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's just a thing now, bro.
Yeah, it is a thing, and I'm not judging.
I'm not judging them either. I'm just saying.
I would tell you this. In my daughter's school, she told me that there's kids that if you get too close, they might bite you.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And the reason why I say that is because like our generation will look at that like it's wild, you know what I mean? But now it's so normal to like the younger generation. That's why I feel like you never know.
I think it's wild as fuck.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and I was like, rough, they pow, what the hell wrong with you?
Yeah, but we're old. I feel like I understand now. Now I fall in the generation where like when I was younger and they're like, oh, that music ain't like music was when I understand now I'm old. Some of the kids at Target, they call me Unc. I'm like, I'm only 34. I am an uncle though. I do have nieces and nephews, but
yeah, you're pretty young though.
Yeah, like Unc. I've just embraced it now. Like, yeah, I'm Unc.
Yeah, sometimes when I go to work and they have these racks, I have to step on these racks. I always call them young guys over there. I just grab them and step up. I
do the same thing with that's what I do at Target. If you ordered something online, you came to the store to pick it up, I take it out to your car. Oh. So the youngins, they always want to feel strong. Like I see it all the time. They be flexing. So anytime it's something heavy, I'm like, yo,
come here.
This is a good workout. Get this box for this lady.
They're like, sure, it's not heavy.
Yeah, they love it. They're like, oh yeah, I got it. I was like, yeah. When you get to my age, you understand.
In fighting, they have something called old man strength. So, like I said, I didn't start fighting until I was 34.
So you had the old man strength?
I guess, because I would grab people. They'd be like, oh, shit, you got that old man strength. I was like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I was looking at before you came, I was just I don't know why I thought about this, but I was in the van and you ever go down like rabbit holes on YouTube, like just random rabbit holes?
Every day. I work from home for my first job.
Oh.
So I get to like have my phone in front of me and like I watch tons of podcasts.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Joe Budden, the Joe Budden podcast?
Yeah.
#1 podcast in the world.
No, C-Rod, tell me a story podcast.
Nah, that's fact. If I'm supporting my mans, yes. Yeah. But my biggest influence and what I look up to, aspire to be, is like the Joe Budden level.
Yeah.
What were we talking about that we got at that?
You was telling me about you were listening to podcasts and I told
at work. So that's why that's kind of how I got into podcasting. It was just like I could watch so much of it and I understood the tech behind it.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like
what's the most random rabbit hole you jumped down?
Where?
Just on YouTube, just looking at videos.
Random rabbit hole on YouTube. The ones because I kind of just got onto like AMP and Kai Cenat in them.
Oh, what is that?
You know Kai Cenat? You don't know Kai Cenat?
No.
He's like the #1 streamer, like the hip hop streamer.
I don't know.
Anyways, long story short, so like they've been doing it for years though. So then they've been on it for years. I mean, like, like these kids are, when you have time, you could just make nonstop videos and shit.
Yeah.
So they have tons of content. I just go down there like that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
the streamers, seeing what the kids are doing. I'll be trying to keep up to like, because there's still competition at the end of the day. Like y'all trying to come up and be creatives. Like y'all, I got to figure out what y'all doing.
I wish I was more, you're like looking like strategically.
Hell yeah.
I go down stupid rabbit holes. Like the other day I seen people, weird pets. I was like, what kind of pets people have? Bro, the one that was the weirdest was the leeches.
As a pet?
Yeah, pet leeches.
Nah, they bugging.
Bro, so that you have to feed them, so you put them on you. And people say it's medical, but so you pull them out, you put them on you, they suck on you for a little while. That's how you feed them. And they're like playing with them and stuff.
Nah,
like
weird.
Rubbing on their hands and like just playing with the leeches. Then I jumped into that rabbit hole, and then I started looking at like different farms of different weird animals, like spider farms. All these spiders come out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like roach, they got a roach farm.
Oh, we got those in New York.
Roach farms?
Yeah, they're just in everybody's apartment. I'm not lying.
Yeah, these is real roach farms.
I know you turn on the lights, the whole farm come out.
Yeah.
Or you see the whole farm. Just
I was one time.
Denver got that shit too.
One of my family members had bad roaches, bro, and I used to stay with them, and sleepy feel. Rub it on your face.
Those are great roaches.
Like, whoosh, bro, there's just that many of them. Mm-hmm. Like, oh shit, roaches on your face.
Because I wonder, like, you ever wonder, like, how conscious is a roach? Like, do they know, like, oh shit, I'm walking on this human right now? Nah, they don't know that.
Or they're like, I'm about to shit on his face.
Yeah, maybe they do know that.
Maybe there was like some roaches on the side. You won't do it.
Yeah.
I'm killing up.
Yeah.
They're drinking. They're all
like,
drunk.
Nah, you pussy. You won't do it. You scared.
You pussy. Get up there.
Get up there.
He's like, come up here. Look at me.
Come on, roach.
How did Tito die, man? He jumped on one of them roaches.
He fucking with those humans again.
He's fucking with them humans. Now he's dead.
Now he's dead. That's comedy.
You see the roaches in Texas, bro.
They got them out here too.
Nah, bro. Roaches in Texas are like prehistoric.
Like the big joints? Like
They'll
water
fly
bugs?
at your
I hate when people call water bug, like, I hate when people call roaches water bugs.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's a big ass roach.
That's a big ass roach. Yeah, they call them water bugs.
Some just fly. You see the ones that
yeah,
fly?
they fly at you.
Yeah.
That's how they are down there.
I remember I had a friend in PA. He was from PA. He was visiting me in New York when I lived in New York. And we was at my grandma's crib. And it had to come from outside. But he go in the bathroom. And there was this big ass roach in the bathroom, and he freaked out. He's like, Miguel, come here. There's a big ass roach in the bathroom. And I was like, I think he might have said water bug actually. And I was like, I looked at it, like, oh, bro, it's not, it's a roach. Get the shoe off real quick. Bang.
Fuck them big ass.
But it was like normal it was normal to me, but it was like blew his mind.
So I have 3 daughters and I have no sons.
Oh wow.
And my wife. Mm-hmm. So every time there's a bug. I've been called at work before, bro.
You what?
I've been called while I'm at work.
Oh, the family calling you?
There's a bug in the house. I'm like, yo, y'all doing
trying
that
to pay
shit.
these bills.
I'm not coming home. You gotta get home right now. I'm like, what's going on? There's a bug in the house.
That's comedy. But yeah. We were talking about something. The rabbit hole. I did see some funny shit the other day. I think this is kind of weird, like watching someone watch a video. You're like, you know how like people do reviews,
reactions.
They do reaction videos.
Yeah.
So us watching it, it's like, wow, we're watching someone watch someone. Shit is weird. I was doing it the other day.
Someone watching, and we're all both just watching the original video.
Yep. But there was one the other day I saw.
True.
It was this girl in the UK. She's an OnlyFans model, and she slept with 100 dudes in one day.
What the fuck?
You should watch it. I was telling my sister about it. It was just a good documentary on this girl, because the dude who was interviewing her and doing the documentary, he asked her like these really challenging questions, and like was really I want to say, what is it like when you're trying to be you're trying to see both sides?
Open.
Nah, there's a certain word. Anyways, you see both sides of it. So he was
perspectives.
Yeah, he was like playing devil's advocate, for lack of a better term. Yeah. And you know, he was just asking her, like, "Are you about to sleep with 100 guys? Do you know if these guys have any criminal backgrounds? Do you know if these?" That's another one, right?
Yeah, you go ahead. Yours is good.
All right. There's the criminal backgrounds, STI checks, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And then just watch it, bro. At the end, she's like, she sleeps with all the guys. You could tell it affected her. She's like processing it. I thought she was just gonna be done after that. He thought so too. He had to you could tell during editing, he found this out, that now in February, she's gonna try to beat the world record and sleep with 1,000 guys in one day.
What the fuck?
I was telling people, I was like, yo, imagine you're like 99. Like, imagine you're number 99. Like, I'm paying less. Like, I'm not paying what number 1 paid. That's disgusting. Yeah, you just got ran through 99 guys. I better get a discount. That's disgusting. I want to know, yo, Ma, if someone could get this clip to her, did you charge the same rate for every guy? Bro, nah, she hands down, bro. By the end of that video, even before she announced the 1,000 guys, I was like, all right, this is mental. This is there's something mental here, and this is not good for her. And you could just tell by how she was devastated at that. You could just tell, like, imagine 100 guys Imagine 100 girls fucked you, bro. I feel like that would take a toll on me. A lot of energy. Nah, even me, bro. Sometimes, I mean, I done had sex with girls, 2 girls in one day, and I felt mad dirty after that because maybe I didn't shower either. Yeah, just getting. And every guy's different, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, and you could just, she cried a bunch at the end of the documentary. So I was like, yeah, this fucked her up. I hope she learned her lesson. Then to come out with a video saying, in February, I'm going to smash 1,000 guys.
That's stupid. I'm really, so I'm pretty conservative. I don't consider myself conservative.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty conservative too, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty old school, so stuff like that kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, bro. I didn't think she was. I think that's how they got me in the video because like I'm conservative too. I was like, there's no way she's going through with this.
And she did.
She did.
That's
and you got the expensive joints. These aren't cheap. The Dr. Pros.
Oh yeah, you know about these,
bro? I know about everything. The sun packs we sell at Target.
He's like, you got his here, you got this there.
Yeah, I'm a super nerd. That's where I'm nerdy when it comes to like the tech shit.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about it's for people that want to know about like creating content and like what is your like schedule? Like what? Like I know you had dropped off in June a little bit.
So right now I have a schedule. If you want to know my schedule, all right.
You have one, right?
Yeah, I do. I have it for the next month. And this isn't even my content schedule. This is my schedule, like for me doing work. Like, is that what you want to know? Like, when do I work?
Yeah.
All right, so let me give you my job schedule first. My job schedule, Monday through Friday, work from home, 8 to 4:30 for the hospital. Then Monday, Tuesday, as of right now, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I go to Target from 6 to 10. It's been a little bit more now because of the holidays. Like the hours are open. But that's what I've normally been doing like the past almost 2 years. And then Saturdays, I work 1:30 to 10, have the morning off, and then Sunday's my only day off. So when I was early in the year, I was doing the pod on Sundays, shooting in the morning, editing at night, have it out by Tuesday. And I was doing that on a weekly basis.
Wow.
On top of everything I just said.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to switch up my work schedule a little bit. I'm going to take a weekday back and cut to 4 hours on a Saturday. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream on Mondays, film Sunday, stream Monday, edit Wednesday, drop the pod on Friday. And then every day I'm going to upload a clip on like a TikTok. You know, like the
I've seen a lot of your reels.
So like the promotional shit.
Yeah.
Like I like to make long form and then make the short form to help promote the long form.
Yeah. What do you decide whenever you sit down in front of a camera and you just, because I thought about doing that a few times, start recording yourself. Mm-hmm. What do you like, how do you decide for a topic?
I don't, to be honest with you. This it's so funny you said that. The other day, you know what vidIQ is?
Yeah.
So I used to have vidIQ when I was doing like type beat videos for making beats. And I would try to like, utilize it to get my beats noticed. Yeah. And then recently I came across it again. I was like, I forgot about this shit. And now, have you used it recently?
I did, but I haven't. I did.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I was using it.
I came across it the other day, and then they have this section here that says ideas. So like, it reads your page, it reads all like, it'll learn you in a way. And then look, idea says live jam session with the SP404 on my latest awesome track. So that would be like the title, and then I could go in with that idea, like, yo, this is the last beat I made on here, and just break it down in the video. Because before I was just like, just throwing darts at the wall and see what would stick. And I realized when you watch like a lot of these like people who give you advice, like that's not the smartest thing to do.
No, they have little
like strategies
and stuff.
So I learned now I recommend that. Give vidIQ. It should probably read your page and off your interests, and then it'll give you ideas, and then just freestyle off that, you know what I mean? Because like people, people they be having the scripts. I hate the script shit. It's just I hate the scripts. I hate the extra, like the super editing, like the hyper edits and shit like that. I just feel like it's not natural. Yeah,
you know who I like watching interview, which they say he's the police, but DJ
Vlad.
He does good interviews.
He does.
Bro. He's really good at interviewing. Mm-hmm. He'll study his person. He'll have the questions lined up. He'll detail like this is what happened, and then why did this happen? I think he's a good interviewer.
I agree. I'm second it. That was, and anyone wants to know, that was the inspiration behind the Let's Meet show. When I started the Let's Meet show, it was me behind the camera interviewing someone, and it came completely from Vlad.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah,
he's
the police.
But they say he's police.
Yeah.
They say
he does great interviews though, and he gets a lot of information out of the culture that other people don't get out of him. Do you mind if I use this?
No, go ahead.
It's gonna be the lip shit. Watch.
Well, sometimes people cry out here.
Word?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sometimes some people's stories are pretty. Some people have, pretty.
I know, but I
intense
wouldn't know what
stories.
to do. You're a good person. Like, oh shit. I didn't think he was gonna cry, y'all. I'm bad at that. Even at work, my coworkers, they'll be throwing like some shit, and I'll like make a joke about it, and I'll see they don't react well with it.
Yeah.
And then I have my other coworker who's just like comes in and touches them and talks to them like, yo, I guess I wasn't raised like that. I'm from a place where like if you go through some shit, like, yo, man up.
Yeah, toughen up.
Yo, toughen up. It's gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
Some of these younger kids, I'll tell you some of this. Let me give you some of the things that people have called in for. Ring, I can't come to work today. I need a mental day. I'm just feeling very mentally stressed. I can't come today.
You sound like my aunt.
Rob, I've heard that. I've heard, well, I lost my belt, and when my pants fall down at work, it makes me very frustrated. I've heard that. I've heard all types of stuff. I've heard, well, you're doing very good in your business, so I think you should start paying your employees mental health, and you need to have sessions for psychology for all your employees. I've heard that. I've heard all types of, which maybe I'm just sound like I said, an old head, but all types of weak talk. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, you're right. My aunt called me one day. My aunt hit me with the same thing. She goes, yo, what's a mental health day? I was like, oh, I think that's like when the staff member feels overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Or like too much is going on.
Yeah,
and they needed just a day for themselves. She was like, what? Because it was a younger girl that we knew.
Yeah.
She was a family friend that worked with my aunt, Kimberly. I don't care. But like she said that. And I was like, yes. But that's a real thing now. It's crazy. I agree with you. I'm like, I'll take off work because I get really bad migraines. I have chronic migraine. That's the only time I'll take off work. But like for those little things, like, bro, life's just stressful. You gotta go pay your bills.
People, they're just so weak.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of entitled. Entitlement, like a guy would say, hey man, I don't feel good today. I'm gonna take the day off, but you're gonna pay me at least half my day, right? No.
You didn't work.
You didn't work. Well, I should at least get half. You make money.
Nah,
right?
yo, I hate things like that. That ties into what we do here too. Like people who want to do, it's like, yo, yeah, but there's overhead costs. Like you don't know, I gotta. Let's for whatever your company, I gotta put gas in the truck. I gotta pay for these tools or all these different types of things that come into this stuff. And people just want the easy way out.
Yeah, I had this conversation with another guy who sat in here, and he was pretty. His beliefs were pretty much opposite of what a lot of my beliefs were.
Must have been a hard conversation.
No, I enjoy. I get along with everybody.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good people's person, But we were just talking about it, and I'm like, from my perspective, the person who like puts in all the money and the effort and gets the license and that's all the has all the responsibility and liability should get the bigger piece of the pie.
Facts, hands down.
And his, it should be equally spread. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's how the Joe Budden podcast split up.
Yeah,
a lot of things split up because of shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, I put up all the money for the cameras, the space, the lights,
everything.
I'm just gonna say whatever. Fuck it. You know what you could do, right?
What?
Order another one of those cameras and put that one in the box and send that shit back.
Yeah, I probably could. I never do shit.
from the hood, bro.
When I was a kid, I used to. But
you know who told me? A girl I used to date.
Yeah.
Not exactly like that, but she would always look fly and shit. And then when we started dating, she was like, oh, I gotta go make returns. And then she would return like the shit, like she would always look fly, but she would go return it.
So I guess just order one of those cameras, just stick it in there.
How I thought of that was when I saw a fucking either a TikTok, a reel, or a short, and it was some dude who he ordered an FX. You know the Sony cameras, the FX3.
Yeah.
It's my dream camera. He ordered an FX3, right? And in the box, what it came with was an FX30. So that means, which is the smaller one. So that means someone
did them like that.
Did the swap? They gave him the FX30, and that was a good. I saw that. I was like, yo, that's like a $2,000 come up right there.
Well, I got warranty on that one, but the thing about it is you know how I swapped the lenses, and then I think my wife threw out the boxes with the old lenses.
Oh, like the kit lenses,
the ones that actually come
with it. Yeah, you don't need those lenses though. Yeah. Don't worry.
I can send it without the lens.
Oh no, but remember, it's gonna come in a new box with the lens.
Oh yeah. Well, they got warranties on them. I mean,
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you order the same one you ordered, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna come with the lens and
Just take it
everything.
off.
All you're gonna do is just put that little frame back in the box. I'm sorry, God. But hey, these companies don't give a fuck
that
about
shit's
us.
gonna work.
Yeah, it's gonna work, bro. Because it's the same exact camera. You just be like, yo, I got this camera, it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not gonna know. Just clean it up, nice.
Sorry, Target. I'm sorry, Target. It's coming. I think I bought that from Target.
Oh, so you got it from Target?
No, Best Buy.
Oh, hands down, you could do it at Best Buy. That's where they did the FX3 shit that I was talking about. That's why I saw that. And then Target, bro. Do it to Target if it's Target. I don't care. That company needs that.
No, I got them at Best Buy.
Makes sense. What is the Canon? Started shooting on Canons. When I learned how to hack my Canon, like the Canon 5D Mark III, anyways, long story short, you could hack these cameras, the Canons. There's a company called Magic Lantern, and they pretty much, you could hack the Canon and shoot RAW instead of like, kind of like so Blackmagic, you could shoot RAW. When I figured out that, my videos was coming out crazy good. That's when everyone was like, yo, what's up with your videos? Them shits look fire. And I was like, I hacked my camera. But then when the autofocus didn't work though that well with it. So it's funny. Then I went and upgraded to a camera that had zero autofocus, but it had the RAW, and it was like 6K. It was like, it had all these specs that I wanted because I knew from the quality. So fucking, yeah. But then I finally went to the Sony. Well, all that to say is I knew I always wanted a Sony because I like the look. Every time I see videos of like creators or directors and stuff, and like they have a certain look, and I go see what kind of camera they're using, it was always a Sony. I was like, I like the look. And then the autofocus, the Sony autofocus is fucking crazy. It's so good. And like for years, I got so nice with just having the manual focus, and I just got tired of that shit.
There's a big community for cameras and shit, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. And I'm just, I feel like I'm a little nerd, but like when I go on YouTube and shit, and I be seeing like some people have those are the wormholes I go down.
Yeah, those are
the ones. It'd be like just on the camera specs or like how to do this, that, how to settings.
Well, just like this episode, I was just thinking I'll probably clip you talking about the camera. You'll probably get a ton of views.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because people like
shit like that. Yep,
they like shit like that.
Yeah, but I thought about it. It was like exactly what you said about the podcast shit. He like, do you feel like there's too many people doing it? So I think about doing those kind of videos, but it's like, damn, there's so many people doing it.
Well, what gets you something that I don't do is you gotta like talk about like trending topics. If you make like, so we like talked about trending topics, and I turn around and cut the podcast up then to like different reels for TikTok and whatnot. If it's a trending topic, it gets better views, So
I think with a balance, just for you and I, off rip, what we could do is, for our own brands, is kind of like what I said. In that same vidIQ, look up keywords or things that's trending, right?
Yeah.
And then in your episode, like let's say I'm coming through tomorrow, right? Hypothetically. Yeah. Tonight, look up a couple trending things. Yeah. And then bring it up in the conversation with me in that episode. Yeah. And it's going to be a conversation, and then you could just clip those up. But I'll also still have your other content, because you don't want people to just view you as like, oh, you're just following the trends. Yeah. But you do your shit, and then maybe every now and hop
pretty
on a trend.
Pretty much what I do.
Yeah, it's the smartest thing to do. I feel
We've actually done it a couple of times in this conversation. I don't know if you noticed. We talked about work wages.
Damn, are you hustling me?
Look at that.
I can't hustle here, y'all. That's the difference between 30 episodes and 7 episodes. Still learning, y'all.
Just bring them up nonchalantly. You know what I mean?
That was smart, though.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Check this out. One time, I went to talk about training topics with this one guy, and what the topic was racism towards white people nowadays and how it's okay. And we were talking about that, and he told me a story.
I'm big on this, so I want to hear it.
Yeah, the story was he was, and I talked to this about 2 different people, but this is a Hispanic guy. He was at some party or something, and some random person came up to him and told him, "I'm sorry, I'm white." And he was like, "What the fuck? What do you mean I'm sorry?" He said he started laughing in his face, like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, everybody told me that I'm bad because I'm white. And he's like, bro, that shit's fake. He's like,
white people do that though. I've experienced that myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've never experienced that.
When you said that to me right now, I was like, yo, I literally experienced that before.
They just came up to you and apologized for me. Why would you?
If it's like, it depends on the setting. Mine was like a party, drinking, and they're just being stupid and funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
This was serious.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah.
He's like, you were born that way, bro. Why are you apologizing for that?
I think it's because the reverse racism now. I had this conversation with my sister about how. Wait, I have a question. What are the triangles for?
Those were. I had a guy in here, and those were where I had the cameras.
Smart.
So I kind of know where to put them.
Yeah, I put a little X under mine on the floor, so if I move things around, I know that's the placement. Exactly. But anyways, long story short, about the reverse racism. I was telling my sister this, and I'm Hispanic, Puerto Rican. I guess that's not Hispanic, it's Latin, I guess. But anyways, long story short, I look white though. So every time I go back, and I've been out here for years, so now when I go back home to New York, I feel like I get taxed. This is what I say. I get a tax when I go into the bodega now. Like normally what it would be like $1, I feel like they'll charge me $1.50 because I look white.
Yeah.
Even out here, I feel like predominantly with the black culture out here, because like where I grew up, I tell people this all the time. In New York, black and Puerto Ricans, like we're like peas in a pod, same thing. Yeah. So that's all I've known my whole life.
Yeah.
And then when I came out here, it's not like that. It's really segregated out here in a way where like the Hispanics stick with the Hispanics, the blacks stick with the blacks, and the whites stick with the whites. So for me coming out here, it was just such a huge culture shock. Because like for me, I'm automatically going to gravitate towards the black culture and black community because that's all I've known my whole life. But then from them out here, I feel like I get this look from them like, because they even feel some way towards the Hispanics out here, which I get because I've noticed in my experience out here, the Hispanics, they say the N-word crazy out here, like ridiculous, like too much. It's not necessary. Yeah. So like I can understand maybe like, nah, y'all take it a little too far. Maybe that's why there might be that little friction. But yeah, I feel it out here. I feel like I don't get the love that I'm so used to getting from the black community and culture growing up in New York. So I've just been in a huge culture shock out here for mad years.
Yeah. Because they say, because I had this discussion with someone else, and the argument is, which is a stupid argument, but you can't be racist to someone who is the majority or who has been in position of power. So you can't be racist to them. But that defeats the word of racism.
No, and they are racist to them. I don't even care if I get backlash for this. Yeah. Like this is what I was telling my sister when I got off topic. Treating someone a certain way because you were treated like that, it's almost like, but there's a word for that. What's it fucking? That's why I gotta stop smoking weed. Tit for tat, almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna make the world any better. Like you're just doing what they did to you, and you didn't like how that felt. You don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't like being called a certain thing or being treated a certain way. So almost, why would you go back and do it to someone else when you know how that feels? You know?
Well, it wasn't like that when I was growing up.
Out here, right?
I grew up in the South, but we didn't hate white people.
Yeah,
that's something new. That's a new thing.
Nah, I don't know.
I mean, we might have.
Maybe for y'all, for me growing up, we would always make like, oh, that's just white people shit. I'm guilty of it too. Like I can't even say that. I'm guilty of putting the white people in that box too. Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. We weren't like now. For example, nowadays, if I go in public, this happened. I was with my daughter in the candy store during COVID, and there was this man with his elderly mother, and she had her mask pulled down like this. And the clerk started saying, "Pull up your mask." You know how they wear a real. And he said, "She's going to give her a second. She just has surgery. She's having a hard time breathing." And she started going off, "Pull up the mask, this and that. We don't give a shit, da da da." And it was like, "I said she just had surgery." He told her like that. And she was like, "Oh, big white man, da 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 da, pulling his white privilege, this and that." And I was like, "Oh shit." So I was like, in my mind, I was like, damn, that was racist as fuck. Someone's going to say something. And he went and he looked, there was this white guy standing next to him, and he says, "Oh my God, did you hear that?" And he goes, "Yeah, she's freaking right. Put your mask on." I was like, oh my God, what's going on with this world?
Or it could be another thing. Maybe the person who said that could have been intimidated or in fear, to say some shit.
I saw the whole thing, but I was like, what the freak?
That is wild.
That is wild. But that wouldn't happen when I was growing up.
I told my aunt this because me and my family always have this conversation because like we always feel the same. Like we grew up around black people. My nephews is half black. You know what I mean? So like black culture has just been my whole life. And I agree with you. I never had to think about these types of things until now in my life. Like I never had to think about any of that shit until now. And I think it's because I think the BLM thing made shit worse.
Yeah, you think so?
I personally think the BLM movement made shit way worse.
Did you see that Cannon Owens things documentary about it?
Nah, I didn't see it. I only know her because when she was running around with Ye.
Well, they spent, I want to say so many millions of dollars on
like
pornography.
Houses. Oh wait, they did?
Yeah, like they spent it on a lot of it. A lot of the money for BMM went to the LGBTQ. I forget
That's
what
crazy.
it is. A lot
One movement to support the other.
Yeah, and a lot of it went to prostitutes.
Yeah, I heard they were like buying houses and doing some wild stuff with the money.
It went to everything, but
Black
it was black people. I was like, wow, it's fucked up. And they were given a lot of money.
Who started that movement? Do you know who's like? Was it?
No, I don't know, but I did see it's two lesbian ladies, and I did.
Were they black?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did see one of them talking the other day, and I didn't watch the full interview, but I wasn't like, wow, that's good. That's a leader. Nah. It was more like, oh, this is somebody not very bright, maybe. I don't know what's going on here.
That's like the Huktua girl. Her too. Recently, you seen that with her?
Oh,
recently?
yeah, she's going down.
Yeah, she's going down, man. I was defending her for a minute too because, you know, it's so funny. White people would tell me about her. They're like, oh, she's an industry plant. And I never heard something like that. Like a white person calling another white person an industry. That was just like a shocker to me. Yeah. So I was like, yo, why do you think she's an industry plant? They're like, oh, because like all these things happen. I was like, she had a viral moment and she capitalized off it. I don't think that makes her. I don't think
she was. No.
I don't think she was.
But I did think she did some
the whole coin thing. And
the whole coin thing.
That's foul, which is crazy.
Which I was just seeing CoffeeZilla's thing on it, so I don't
even know what was that.
He did a little thing. So basically, let me see if I get this right. They started the coin. They did a pump and dump. Everybody lost money except for her and the people who made the coin.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that I'm familiar with what she did. But what's CoffeeZilla? What's that? They did the same thing?
You don't know who CoffeeZilla is?
No.
He investigates all the pump and dumps and crypto.
Oh,
and crypto coins. Oh, bro, you gotta watch CoffeeZilla, bro. He's like got 3 million subscribers. Damn. He does like investigating journalism.
Okay.
And like he did Logan Paul. Logan Paul's suing him, I think, right now.
Oh, word?
Yeah, because he exposed him for all the
damn
stealing and stuff. He did KSI. There's most of those famous YouTubers rip their fans off. Like they're not even good to their people. Mm-hmm. Most of them just rip them off.
Facts.
So, bro. So now I think the people got a pretty good feel for you though. They know what you're about.
Yeah, and you can always come to my shit to see what I'm about.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm about to ask you. So, like, last things I want to tell you is all your promotions, all your shout outs, and your message to the world. So.
All right. So, once again, y'all, it's your boy, Miguel, producer named Mike Extra, founder of Secular TV. I would just ask, go watch all my videos on secular.tv on Instagram, Secular TV on YouTube, Secular TV on TikTok. You can follow my producer page, Mike Extra's back on IG. And what I just want to tell everyone, my advice from my life experience and like words of encouragement, just go do it. Go do it. Don't think about the technical stuff. Don't worry about any of that. I broke my head over it, still do break my head over it every day to go on social media or YouTube and see someone grinding and getting it off their cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of they're putting it into action. They're actualizing their life instead of just talking about it. And I feel like that's just been mad inspiring to me from these kids. It's like they don't think about all that stuff. Yeah. They just go out and get it. And like I just want to encourage y'all. Like you'll learn these things over time. Obviously, if you keep doing this, you're gonna want to get a better camera. That comes with time. You got to save the money. Don't wait to save the money to go buy the camera. Shoot with your phone. I wish I would have did that. Same thing with like software for music. There would be mad times I'll buy mad software for music, sounds or whatever. My hard drive crashed. It's happened to me 3 times out here. Hard drive crashed. Lost everything. Videos, music. What I learned from that, stop putting things on your hard drive and saving things. If I would have had that stuff all out, I would have never went through that.
Yeah, that's like a creator's nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yo, when that first time my hard drive crashed, I was when me and my girl out here, we broke up and I was moving to my new apartment. Just got set up in my new apartment. I was about to make a beat. Hard drive crashed. Lost everything from 2007 to 2019. So my advice, that's why my advice comes from that, y'all. Just put it out. Work with what you got. it's gonna work. It'll get out there. And I also just saw a thing too. YouTube, Instagram. I don't think YouTube. I think Instagram and TikTok. I think they can tell where you're getting these videos from, and they want you to stay in the app as long as they want. So I think they're rewarding creators who are shooting the videos on their phone, from their phone, because you're doing it in the app. And It keeps you longer on the app. So they're rewarding you for staying long, because they take that time you're on the app, go to Coca-Cola, and it's like, hey, this is how much an ad is going to cost. You know, because we keep people on this platform for that long.
Nice.
So I like that they tell you these things now. Now these companies be mad transparent with this stuff. Like YouTube put out a 2.0 thing the other day. Do you see that?
No.
They put out a whole thing on like, this is what you should do.
Wow, how do you get that in YouTube?
Just look it up, Google it, like the YouTube 2.0 shit or whatever. I don't know the exact name.
I'm gonna read that shit.
Yeah, and like everything's out there. That's what I'm trying to say with my motivation.
Yeah, everything's out there.
It's out there. Just do it. Get out your head.
Bet. That's how I feel too. You got an idea, just make it happen.
Make it happen. Yeah.
It's either gonna you can't fail if you don't try.
Mm-hmm. And the more you put it off, the more you're not gonna do it.
For sure.
Yo, side note. Now we gotta give my man his credit and his flowers for what he's doing out here. Once again, thank you for having me. Thank you for just even inviting me. We had a great conversation. Thank you for having me in your space. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
I salute what you're doing, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. If you have any questions, you want to come on my podcast next,
Anytime.
Please do. Yeah. And let's get this shit cracking, bro. Let's put in this work next year.
Anytime, bro.
Yeah. Let's flex on them for the next year.
You heard my man say, if you got ideas, make it happen. Don't sit on your ideas. You might be sitting on an idea to change your life, and you just sleep on it.
Facts.
And then when the time to act on an idea was here, you let it pass, and maybe when you act on it, it's not such a good idea anymore.
Not only that, hold on, I want to add. I've been times I had ideas, never act on it, and then 2 years later, I see someone doing that idea.
Yeah, how many times does that happen? Think about that, guys. Where you're like, man, what if they did this, and then you see it on TV. Act on your ideas, chase your passions, grind. Do like my man. You heard his work schedule. You heard how he grinds. You heard his message. Everybody, make sure you tune in for more episodes we got coming soon. This is episode 30, C-Rod's Tell Me Your Story podcast, and we out.